here's the beginning of the show.
That's what that is.
Yes. And I immediately freeze. I'm just like, oh my God, what do we do now? It's the beginning of the show.
Shit, stole them.
Okay, Queen. This is Queen.
Part
2 of the Queen ranking, cranked and... I can't say the word Queen before cranked and ranked because I'll accidentally say cranked and wanked. Queen, cranked and wanked. It's quanked and wanked. Anyway.
Quanked and wanked.
There was probably some wanking going on.
What is this intro?
I don't know. Welcome, everyone. So this hopefully you guys watched Queen Part 1, but if you were kind of just wanting to see what our top albums were, welcome to Queen Part 2, which is our number 8 to number 1 Queen albums. And I love where we ended up dividing it, because as I was going through and preparing for today's episode, I go and make sure I'm okay with my list. I literally looked at where the line hit and I was like, oh, we literally stopped right before this gets really hard for me to rank because I love all 8 of these albums. So it's like each one of them has shit that I love so much that I even went right now and I moved 2 albums around right before we started because I'm like, no, that doesn't feel right. I
did a similar thing.
But it's like they're so like, I liked clearly I liked things about, the bottom half, but like I was like, oh yeah, this is the point where we get into like I think like all of these albums are amazing and it's really there are things that I was able to pick out and go, oh, not really into this. Maybe this will move it down one. But all quality shit. Don't need to tell you guys that. If you're watching this, you're probably a Queen fan. If you're not, maybe this is where you can start these albums, the ones that we've chosen, which a lot of these are going to be, probably not in the same order, but there's a few of these that I know, we both didn't talk about last episode. So, before we begin, though, this is very important and this ties into last episode because we talked about this on the last episode. And so I had to bring these here. So this, yesterday, we went to my favorite local VHS seller.
Nice.
Shout out to Twisted Time Machine here in Houston. Shitloads of fucking VHS. And I found this.
Hell yeah.
Iron Eagle. But not only did I find Iron Eagle, I found Iron Eagle 2.
Nice.
I didn't even know there was an Iron Eagle 2. I don't think I've ever even seen it, but I got it. And
I'm about to blow your mind. There's at least 3 Iron Eagles.
Oh, okay. Did some of them go direct to video?
I don't know. Iron Eagle 3 is a 1992 American-Canadian action film developed by John Glenn.
I did read a little bit about this, and you know what's interesting about Iron Eagle?
What's that?
It came out several months before Top Gun.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
This came out January of 1986, and I believe Top Gun came out like May. It was like the summer blockbuster. So this isn't a ripoff of Top Gun. I mean, it may have been that sort of thing, when studios hear other studios talking, we're making a movie with airplanes. No, wait, we're going to make a movie with airplanes. And then they, ours is going to come out first. But either way, this is before they knew it was going to be successful. And so this movie was successful. I didn't know that. I went and looked and I was like, holy shit, this movie did really well for itself. And so anyway, but yeah, we brought this up last time because Queen is on the soundtrack for Iron Eagle.
Yeah.
I got the old school one. This is like the 80s, version of this. Look how beautiful that is. It's just,
gorgeous.
But yeah, that place, Twisted Time Machine, it's literally just like, it's kind of a small room in this like gallery of like antique places where all these different little shops. But her stuff, it's just wall to wall. And if you really are into it like me, you're on the floor looking at titles that are down here and you're moving boxes to get another box that's hidden. And this was literally in a hidden box. There was a box under other stuff and I moved it out of the way and I started digging through it. I found so many grails yesterday. It was insane, and they're all, and it's very well priced. I know most people that watch us don't live in Houston, but if you're in the Houston area, Twisted Time Machine is there's other shops that are there too, other cool, they sell old video games and all kinds of other shit. But yeah, so I had to show you that because I was very excited to have Iron Eagle.
Hell yeah.
And get to watch it again.
I want to know how many people signed up for the Air Force in 1986. Like, there's got to be some sort of surge. Like, how many people joined the Air Force after Top Gun? While exact numbers are unavailable, the original Top Gun, 1986, significantly boosted naval recruiting, with sources indicating 20,000 increase in uniformed personnel across all branches, including Sparxx in the Air Force and Marines a year after its release.
Yep. Plus, I'm pretty sure that Top Gun was like actually endorsed by the U.S. Air Force or whatever, which I don't think Iron Eagle was. I think they had to go use foreign aircraft to make it, but whatever. I'm looking forward to watching that again because I haven't seen Iron Eagle since I was a kid.
I watched it, the last time I watched it was, God, that's a while ago for me as well. Probably like 2017. So that was when I got it.
Yeah.
Ding,
Nice.
ding, 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 ding. Never say die, Iron Eagle. Fucking awesome. So cheesy, it's awesome.
Then I gotta look for that soundtrack too. Featuring Queen, which is why we're here. The top Queen. And we just jump into it. We haven't done a part two. I looked it up. It's been over a year since we've done a multi-part episode. And so this is absolutely worth it because like I said last time, Queen deserves a lengthy discussion about what they did. And technically I guess they're still doing. Did they put out albums with Adam Lambert? Or no?
Let me have a look.
And obviously, we're not including them, but I don't know. I have no problem with Queen and Adam Lambert just because I feel like Freddie Mercury would have given it his blessing. I feel like the way that he handled dying and giving them all that music, he definitely wanted them to continue doing shit. And so,
So there was, before Adam Lambert, there was Paul Rogers as well.
Oh.
Who joined on.
Okay, but did they? I don't think they did any albums with him, did they?
Let me have a look. Queen and Paul Rogers, formerly of Bad Company, Free, The Firm, and The Law. Let me have a look, see if they did. The Cosmos Rocks, they did an album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, damn. Is the only studio album by Queen and Paul Rogers. Contains 14 new tracks written by Brian May, Roger Taylor, and Paul Rogers.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just check and see. Let's see. Queen and Adam Lambert.
Because he's still the vocalist in that band, right? It's still Adam Lambert and Queen?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But they haven't done studio stuff. They've only done live albums.
Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah.
Interesting.
That's funny because I used to actually be a viewer of American Idol, and I watched the season that Adam Lambert was on, and was rooting for him because I thought he was great, and so when I saw him get that gig, I'm all like, oh, that's sweet, like good
Set
for
for
you,
life.
dude. Yeah, good for you. But we're going back to Freddie Mercury, Queen. Which, as good as Queen is, I've always thought about that. Like, as good as the music is, as great and innovative as Brian May was, and all the music that was written, if this band had like kind of an average vocalist, do you think the music would have been as timeless and successful as it is?
I think they would have success, but I think it wouldn't be nearly as universally beloved as it is with the charisma of Freddie at the helm.
It's the combination of both those guys. Because Freddie Mercury did a solo album, and I don't I don't remember it being that great, but it's been a while since I heard it. But so maybe they needed each other. Maybe it really was like the perfect combination of all those guys. Considering they were all songwriters too, so shit,
Yeah.
That's pretty rare when you have a band that's literally just filled with dudes who write songs. So anyway, what are we talking about? Queen. This is the top 8. So let's just get into it. But yeah, like I said, this was a really tough ranking, except for my top. Well, my top 5 were pretty fucking solid. It was 6, 7, and 8 that I really was having an issue with. But I think I figured it out. I think I'm happy with my ranking. So let's go ahead and get into it. Our favorite 8 Queen albums, starting with Mr. Eddie Sparxx, Edward J. Sparxx. I don't know what the J stands for. J sounds good in there. Edward J. Sparxx. Edward James Olmos. That's what it is. Only it's Edward James Olmos with Z's at the end instead of S. Anyway, all right. Your number 8 Queen album.
Cool. You're going to have to shave a mustache back in.
Yeah.
I have to talk like this. You're off the case, Crockett. Right, so where are we at? Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. My number 8 is A Kind of Magic. My number 8.
A Kind of Magic, okay.
Is Kind of Magic, which ties into the whole Iron Eagle thing, because one is in that.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's a great kick-ass starter of an album, followed up by Kind of Magic, which is much more poppy, but is a catchy tune. It has got that kind of played to death in adverts thing for me. I'm pretty sure at some point in my childhood I just associated it with, there was some advert or something that's still kind of baked in there, but I never skip it when it's on either. And it is one of those songs that has a kind of unique vibe. It's like, oh yeah, that's A Kind of Magic vibe. And I can't think of another song that has it specifically. One Year of Love is a power ballad. It's a heartfelt one, Pain So Close to Pleasure. Friends Will Be Friends is another heartfelt one. There's a lot of ballad stuff on here, but to offset that at the same time, when it rocks, like Give Me the Prize, Princes of the Universe, those songs, isn't this effectively like a loose soundtrack for Highlander as well?
Yeah, I didn't know this. I saw somebody comment and say that the name A Kind of Magic actually comes from something, a quote from Highlander.
Yeah, I found out later.
Still don't think it's a very good album title, but
Yeah. It could have been One Vision or something like that. I don't know.
Or yeah, there could be only one.
Yeah.
There could be only one queen. Hey, that's actually kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There can be only one.
That's not true considering how many queens have there been in England?
I mean, at the time,
a lot. Yeah. A lot of queens.
You got a point. But yeah, it's. I really enjoyed it. I love me some 80s stuff. And it's got a lot of flavors of the 80s and things. Do you want to know something that I picked up on? And I love this song, Who Wants to Live Forever. I absolutely adore that song. It's huge. It's anthemic. It's heart-wrenching. I am 100% sure that dun, 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 gah. Dun, 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 bit halfway through the song was so good that the dude who did whoever or lady, I don't know, who did the soundtrack for the movie Speed. Oh, Keanu Reeves.
That's a movie. I've seen that movie one time. Is that the music to Speed?
very similar. It's like a dun 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 dun. It's always stuck in my head. But the main motif of that movie is which is the same as that midsection in that song. So every time I think of Who Wants to Live Forever, I always think of Speed.
I mean, maybe they were influenced by it, or that that thing that happens with songwriters where they knew that song and then they were composing this and they were like, I don't know where this melody came from, but I'm gonna use it.
Dude, that's a movie I need to go back and watch again. That was one of those movies I watched as a very young kid that I probably shouldn't have been watching as a very young kid, but I don't regret that I did.
I don't. Is it violent? I don't remember that. I remember it being pretty mild.
Dude, there's a part where Dennis Hopper sticks a fucking screwdriver through a guy's temple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe because I literally haven't seen it since back in the day, and my wife and I have been on a kick of getting these old VHS, and I have a feeling that if we run across Speed, I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's just grab it because I haven't seen it in such a long time.
Dude, good luck. Have you ever seen that dude that collects specifically Speed on VHS?
No.
Dude,
he has all of them.
Speed VHS guy. There's a guy this guy is trying to collect every single copy of the movie Speed on VHS. As of 2014, he had 500 copies.
So if I find it, I definitely got to get it, and then I'm gonna send him a picture and be like, "This one's mine, bitch."
I have one here in here, so he's gonna have to come fight me for it. But let me get. I'm pretty sure there's a photo of him in the bathtub. Yeah, here he is.
Are you sending it to me?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Okay.
And if you get some time in post, I just want you to throw this up. Hold on. Here you are.
Well, I can just show my phone.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So for everybody at home that's on the YouTube, he's in a bathtub filled with copies of Speed. That's fucking funny. He's addicted to Speed.
Yeah,
he has a need for Speed.
It's safe to assume that, judging by the look in his eyes, he's probably on it too.
Probably.
So, hell, I mean, you got to be wired to keep your eye on all of those eBay listings.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now I gotta go. Yeah. Now I'm all like, it's my mission now to get one.
Yeah.
Just in case that guy's still at it, because I'm like,
we've become villains in this story.
Yeah. We're gonna keep you from reaching your goal. Yeah. No, but I'm sure I would like Speed because I ended up all of those. There's plenty of '90s action movies that I kind of missed out on at the time just because I wasn't going to, once you got to like the mid '90s, I wasn't going to the movies as much anymore. So I missed all kinds of cool movies. So I'll get back to it, I'm sure.
I love it. There's a what's the quote? There's enough C4 on this thing to put a hole in the world.
Did Keanu say that?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Vaya con Dios. Awesome. I love Keanu so much, but he's so easy to make fun of.
Oh yeah, but he's such a good guy and such a good sport too.
Yeah.
That, I love him.
Yeah. I mean, plus, at this point, because people used to like ridicule him for his acting. But once John Wick started going, that really changed. Everyone's just like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
we're on board with Keanu. And we've been on board with Keanu because he was Ted, and Ted is very important to me.
Hell yeah.
I've got both the Bill and Ted movies on VHS, and I didn't even tell you. Did I tell you that I bought an old NES?
No. Oh wait, did you?
I don't know if I did.
Funny because today I literally bought a Wii today.
Oh, so because like in that same antique small place, there was another guy that was selling video games, and we had VHS too. So we were just there looking through the VHS, and I had told my wife that for years I keep looking on eBay to get a refurbished NES, but I'm always really weary of it because I'm like, I don't know how good this is going to be, and am I wasting all this time and money to get something that isn't really going to work, and blah blah blah. And
it holds up.
so we're at we're at this place, and my wife just goes, "How much? Is that a refurbished NES?" And the guy was like, "Yeah," and he explained what he did to clean and replace stuff. And so he's like, "This thing's 40 years old, but it should last another 40 years now." And my wife goes, "We'll take it." And I'm just like, "Oh, no way." And so now I've been buying NES games, but I'm that dork that I want all the NES games based on movies, even though they were shitty.
Yeah.
So I've already got like RoboCop and Total Recall and Bill and Ted.
Nice.
The Batman. Oh, it's just I fucking love that game. The first Batman. Anyway. Yeah. So I got that too. I literally am just like this is my midlife crisis right now, I think, because I thought it was vinyl, but now I'm realizing that my midlife crisis is VHS tapes and Nintendo games.
Yeah.
So that's I'm going through that, but luckily I have a supportive wife who sees what I'm going through and my obsession, and she's like, "I'm gonna help you out with this. I'm gonna join in on this too."
Nice. That's always nice when that happens as well. There's a common appreciation and goal there. For me, if there's one thing that I can happily turn around and say, I've made a little bit of a discovery recently. I'm always talking about how, in my opinion, music, specifically heavy music, peaked between 84 and 94.
Okay.
That for me is like my favorite 10-year span of music in history.
Yeah, I mean, mine as well.
However, if I had to turn around and say something, I did live through what I believe to be a golden age, and I believe that growing up with the PS2 era of gaming was a great time to be a kid. Because
Just a different kind of golden age.
a different kind of golden age. It wasn't music, it was games. And I look back on that time, and it's before microtransactions and companies milking you for every cent.
Yeah.
You bought, and we come back around to this so often. We're talking about video games on a Queen episode, but people who come to this show know what they're in for.
Yeah.
Buckle up, newbies. In 2004, you could go and buy Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, a game that is so good, it has an active community to this day, myself included. You can do so much in that game, despite its aged graphics and whatnot, but the fun factor never went away.
Yeah.
And the best part is, it was released in a complete state. You didn't have to sit at home and wait for it to install onto the fucking hard drive, do a bunch of updates because they released a broken product and had to save face. No, they put something out that was groundbreaking, boundary smashing, and fantastic. And that was like a monthly occurrence game-wise back then.
Yeah.
It was just such a cool time to be a kid, and I've grown to really look back and appreciate that time too. I mean, obviously, providing you had a good one, I thankfully did, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
You always look back on your childhood fondly, if it went well.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I look now and I see kids and I think, man, I had it so much better. In a way,
Yeah.
I mean, and they probably think that's a boomer take, but simply put, I remember when things were just released in a complete state and were fucking fun, and you didn't have any bullshit getting in your way other than the ride from the shop to home.
Yeah.
And you'd read the manual on the way home, make yourself car sick. But you
have a good point, because it's almost like that was video games reaching the peak of everything that they could accomplish with a video game before it went over to where everything was online and there was constant like updates or things you had to buy once you bought a game. Like it's almost like that. It's almost like it reached a peak, and then all of a sudden the mountain fucking grew even taller. But we were already at the peak. It's okay. There's another peak, and then probably another one after that.
Yeah, and there's this like window of time that I believe is the PS2 and into the PS3 era. That's when the online stuff came along, but it was still stuff was released complete.
Yeah.
People weren't rushing shit out yet. It's great stuff.
Shit, the fucking what I'm learning about NES games now that I'm older and I'm playing some of them. You look at so many of these different games, especially the ones where they were like, "Oh, we need to put out a video game for this movie." It's literally the same side scroller.
Yep.
This doing the same kind of things. Like it's literally like you jump over here, you move to the left, you jump up here. Oh, this level you go backwards a little bit. But it's just it's just all these different games. I'm all like, it's kind of the same map, but then they just change what you're fighting against or what you're collecting or what, something. And some of them, did it really, really well. But I found I haven't gotten it yet, but I was like researching NES games. There's a game I'd never even heard of. I think it's called, I think I have it in my notes right here. I want to get the name right because somebody out there probably already knows this fucking game and they're just like, oh yeah. The Adventures of Rad Gravity. Huh. And it's still the same kind of thing where it's like a side scroller, but they flipped the gravity. So he's constantly on the ceiling.
No way.
Yeah. And it's actually pretty cool graphics. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to find that one because that's taking that thing that was redone. But they're like, oh no, we're flipping it on its ass. And we're like, this is the one where you're dealing with, anti-gravity or whatever. And I thought that looked kind of cool. Anyway. So there you go. A little video game chunk there. There's probably going to be more of that coming, folks, with me getting into these games that they all look the same and some of them are really dumb, but like I have so much fun. Like I was literally I literally was playing that RoboCop game and I'm like, man, kids nowadays would be like, why is this so wonky? And I'm like, I love that it's so wonky.
Yeah.
Why do you have to shoot a bunch of dogs? Because you just do. The dogs are attacking you. You have to shoot them. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you're number 8. You were on A Kind of Magic. Did you finish that up?
Yeah. I liked it. I liked it more than you did.
A lot.
Simply put, yeah.
It's good to get those represented in this episode because I know there are people that really like that later 80s period of Queen. And it's so funny because like as much as I have my opinions and I feel like my opinions are, very solid for the most part, but like I'll hear somebody else's opinion, especially when it's brought to me in a really thoughtful way. And I go, oh man, I'm sorry that I knocked on the shit you love. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. But, all right. So let's move on to my number 8. My number 8, The Game from 1980.
Okay.
The 8th album. Pretty fucking solid album here. Honestly, the only song on this album that I really don't like was a really big hit, and that's Crazy Little Thing Called Love. That song is just, you could just erase that song from the album and I would not miss it at all. But it's not horrible. It's just, doesn't do anything for me. On the other hand, you have fucking Dragon Attack, which is a fucking banger, certified banger.
Yeah.
And of course, another one, Bites the Dust, which never gets old to me. It just...
Yeah.
It sounds pretty fresh every time I listen to it just because it's got that midway between disco and like funk. It's like somewhere in there is where that song lives, and I kind of like that. But yeah, it goes at number 8 for me because the albums prior to this to me were like their peak. And then 1980 it comes around and they put out Flash Gordon, which I haven't talked about yet, so that's higher. And this one, and I feel like this as a Queen album is a little bit of a step down when it comes to surprises and that sort of blow your mind songwriting. There's some of it on here, but this is just kind of a more focused and solid Queen album, which I think is actually really enjoyable. But comparing it to all these other ones, I'm like, yeah, I really like a lot of these songs. It's a very strong album, but comparatively speaking, this is comparatively speaking part 2, folks. Something freaked out my little Bodie. He gets freaked out. He's the little chihuahua.
The game should be in the top 5 at least. What are you talking about?
Yeah. No, he's never mad at anything that makes any sense whatsoever. He's mad at like you get out a broom to go sweep something, and he's like, ah. Yeah. Anyway,
I worked so hard putting all that hair in that corner.
And I am getting out brooms all the time, so I have to hear that a lot. Anyway, my number 8 is The Game, which, it's good. Play the Game's a good song.
Speaking of games.
Speaking of games, have we ever talked about video games in this one? All right, number 7. What's your number 7 Queen album?
My number 7 is The Miracle.
Okay, all right.
The Miracle. I was pleasantly surprised. There were several songs on here that, I already recognized from Greatest Hits 2. This is an album that I hadn't listened to in like at least 8 or so years. And I agree that while it is a predictable rock album of the late 80s, I love rock albums from the late 80s. And there's an element of like, I love the, 1-2 punch of, the first 2 tracks. The Miracle is okay. I do love I Want It All. I Want It All is one of my favorite Queen songs ever. But it's weird when there's 2 different versions of the same song. There's parts about this version I prefer, and there's parts about the single version I prefer. I prefer the way the single version starts. But there's a section in this that's completely omitted from the single version that I hate that it's not in the single version.
Yeah.
And it's like, like, why was that taken out? But
that brings up. We don't talk about this often on this show, but for a while there, like there was the art of the edited radio version, because there were some radio versions that were really good the way they were like thrown together. I even like the radio version of Flash Gordon because it incorporates all this different dialogue that's throughout the album. They put it all, a lot of it in the song for the single version, and I think that's actually kind of cool. But for some reason, it really like sparked this thing in my brain, which is going to take us off on a tangent again, which I apologize. But when you get into the 90s, and all of a sudden there are radio edits of hip hop songs because of foul language. Yeah. And some of them bother me that the edited version is so much better than the real album version. Yeah. I don't know if we talked about this when we talked about this album, but like I think is it Dre Day from the Chronic? It's either Dre Day or Nothing But a G Thing. I don't remember which one it is, but there's lines from the radio version that actually make more sense than the album version. Because in the radio, I think it's Dre Day, and there's a line, I don't know what song, and maybe it's not Dre Day, but there's a line where he says, in the radio version, he says, "I'm yelling 187 with my gat in your mouth, bitch," which makes perfect sense. 187, murder, my gat's in your mouth. Album version, I'm yelling 187 with my dick in your mouth. And I'm just like, you're murdering him with your dick? Also, why do you want to put your dick in this guy's mouth that you don't like? That makes no sense whatsoever.
And also, if your gat is near your dick, you don't want to blow your dick off.
Oh, that's an accident waiting to happen. I'm sure that's happened. But also, don't put your dick in your enemy's mouth. Maybe just shoot him. Maybe it should be a gat in your mouth. So for the first time I heard that song edited first, and then when I heard the album version, I went, why? Yeah. Like that's literally just being filthy for the sake of filthy, because I'm just like, think about it for a second. Why do you want? I mean, maybe Snoop is on the gay spectrum, where his sexuality is a pendulum, and he's a little bit over on this side. But there's other lines like that from those songs where I just go, man, the edited version of this is so much better than the album version. Anyway,
something funny. For some reason, the version of "Check Yourself" on GTA San Andreas is the radio edit, and I always grew up hearing the radio edit, believing it was just the song. And for some reason, it just flows off the tongue better for me now. When I hear like the original version, not the edit, I still end up rapping the edit lyrics. Yeah, it's weird.
What was the edit? Because it doesn't have that one that says like big dicks in your mouth is bad for your health or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's big D's in your mouth. I think they changed it too. Where is it? Ice Cube, check yourself.
You gotta check yourself before you wreck
Edit
yourself.
Lyrics.
That's also an anomaly of a song where the remix version is actually better than the original version, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a part where instead of where is it? Better check yourself.
Better check these nuts.
He did the thing. Where is it? You better check yourself or you wreck yourself, because I'm bad for your health. I come real stealth, dropping bombs on your moms, kill car alarms. So that's one that's changed. And instead of God damn, it's taking me to the original. Check yourself remix.
The remix one is where they use the music from The Message from Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of. But and God, fucking hip hop, man. Check yourself, remix, edit.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. There's the one that's on San Andreas that surprisingly doesn't have any swears in it.
Yeah. Anyway,
in a game full of them. So
but sometimes it's better. I'm just saying. Sometimes, I mean, a lot of times it's worse. I understand that, but sometimes they just piss me off with the editing that they do. But in certain cases, I'm like, the edit is sometimes better.
Dude, there's a Kendrick Lamar song that literally is like an argument between a man and his spouse. And there's a part where it goes, fuck you, nah, fuck you, fuck you, nah, fuck you. And it's you. It's so funny, dude.
At that point, just don't put it out at all. Just like, just don't worry about it.
I'm gonna get this in the bank just to have it ready. Was it Kendrick Lamar edit argument song? I can't remember what it's called.
Welcome to the Queen ranking, where we talk about video games and hip hop.
Yeah. Oh shit. But if anything, you know what that proves? We are open-minded individuals.
Oh, with
a wide musical taste.
For real. I feel like being into Queen is already kind of a gateway into being into
so
more adventurous music, and sometimes that means just different genres. But anyway, where were you? You were on number 7. The Miracle is what you were talking about, right?
The Miracle. I believe I'm on The Miracle.
Yep, you are.
Where are my notes for The Miracle?
We were talking about the edit for.
Oh, that's what happened, wasn't it? Yeah. I have it here. Here we go. I'm a professional.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even going to edit that out. That was so smooth.
So yeah, that was just side A. Breakthrough, Scandal. I like those songs as well, but it's definitely a stacked first half, and like 3 of the 5 ending songs I don't really remember very well, but Breakthrough and Scandal are catchy ones. And I think Breakthrough would benefit really well from like a heavied up version. But do you know what I always think? It's like a hard rock version of Boys of Summer, where it gets to the chorus. If I could only read you, if I could make you smile. It's similar chord sequence.
Which is exactly why in the last episode I said this album is for people who also bought the Don Henley album. Like this is the Queen for them. Not that there's anything. Well, Don Henley's not. I'm not a fan of Don Henley. But anyway.
I do like that song though. It's a good vibe.
Yeah, it's a nostalgic song for me. It makes me feel like it's the 80s.
Yeah,
which is usually it's a good thing. That was Well, I always hate it when people say like, oh, things were so much simpler back then. I'm all like, well, for you they were.
Yeah.
Like there was a whole lot of people that shit sucked in the 80s.
Yeah.
Just because you were at home watching MTV, like the rest of us here, it's like, yeah, wasn't it so great? For us, it was. For other people, it was bad.
For me, like that was a learning curve I remember having, because I remember being quite staunchly, the 80s was just better. And then, someone pointed out, what about medical advancements? And I was like, you've got a point. There are things that are better now, and it's good that they're better.
Yeah.
Now, and there's things about now that suck.
Well, there's a lot of things about now that suck, but yes.
Yeah.
But the good thing, which is what I'm learning, is that you bring the great stuff from back then with you to now, and it still exists. I'm still holding a copy of Iron Eagle on VHS in my hand, so I'm like,
absolutely.
It's like it time traveled with me. It's like, hey, can I bring you over to 2025? Sure. And I get to hold some of the good bits of back then here.
It's all about keeping the ratio in the positive,
Oh, I try my best.
There's a killer to ship ratio that we got to keep the killer.
And sometimes that's exhausting, but you just got to keep at it, because that's what I feel like that's the meaning of life. Like try to make it as enjoyable as you can, and
it's hard work being awesome like us,
and try and try not to treat other people like shit. And then I think that's how you win at life.
Be good.
I think.
Be excellent to each other.
And party on, dudes. Can I go on to number 7 now?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, this is where it got really. These three, well, these two especially, moved all over the place. But I think I'm happy with where they are now. My number 7 is A Day at the Races from 1976. Which is their 5th album, and starts with a bang with Tie Your Mother Down. This album really, I feel like, they did a lot of amazing music, but I think after Night at the Opera, I feel like there was a confidence and drive to the band where they felt they were doing some great shit, but finally, the world was like, yes, you are. And now they were writing that, and so those albums, the album post a success is always really enjoyable to me, because I can usually feel that momentum of oh fuck yeah, even if you gotta make an album really quickly, sometimes I can hear that sort of man, that you can hear the confidence, and that's always fun. And I do think that as an album, A Day at the Races is a bit more cohesive overall than A Night at the Opera, but the number of bangers to just good songs is different on this one. But this one has Somebody to Love. When it comes to a Queen hit, that's one of the best in my opinion. Lesser spoken about, absolute fucking banger on this album is White Man. White Man is amazing. Such a fucking good song. And so but all of these albums, it's like this, where they get kind of go all these different places in some of these albums, and sometimes they'll hit a point that I don't like as much, but then they'll follow it up with something that just blows me away, and I'm just yeah, they had so many great ideas, or working together had the ability of taking an idea and making it into this big fucking grand memorable song that sounds like nobody else, just sounds like Queen. But A Day at the Races, I just feel especially once we get into the top 5 here, it's just so much good shit that it's Day at the Races, as much as I like it, had to be pushed down here. And so that one ends up being my number 7. Moving on to number 6.
Cool. My number 6 is, drum roll please.
Oh, that was bad. Hold on.
Queen 2.
Okay.
Now, the cool thing about the early Queen albums is that they're still finding their footing, but it all sounds killer. So it's not as unified so much as the later stuff as they progress throughout the 70s. But these first couple is proof that they can go in any direction and kill it. It's like there's moments that are like, you know, operatic and ballady. There are moments that are pretty much heavy metal. I mean, Ogre Battle.
They crank up the fucking distortion on some of those songs, man.
Is it Father
chunky.
to Son? Is it Father to Son that has that?
Yeah. That is a chunky boy.
Yeah. And considering, I mean, you know, Queen aren't known in, you know, the mainstream for being like a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
They could have absolutely just decided, fuck it, we're a metal band.
Yeah.
They could have done it. And the cool thing is that they have such a wide sonic palette that they can pull from everywhere.
Yeah.
And they did the right thing doing what Queen did, pulling from all these different places. But if they one day turned around and said, fuck it, we're doing a Foo Fighters and out of the blue we're just doing a metal album because we want to.
Yeah.
They could have done it, you know. And I myself have made a playlist at some point called like If They Were Metal, and it's just all the heavy Queen songs back to back.
Yeah.
And it just stands as proof that they could have absolutely done that if they wanted to, but they also were capable of finding how love is, and, you know, fucking 70s of Rye, all of these other different types of songs as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, we forget just how progressive the early Queen stuff is. Like, there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of different types of parts. Yeah, I love Queen too. And I think the shortcomings of the first Queen, known as Queen or Queen 1 retrospectively, are tightened here and done. Everything on this is done at a higher level than the first. And this is exactly where they needed to go. And that's that jump from incredibly talented but rough around the edges. Now it's incredibly talented and refined as well.
Yeah.
And it's still got that early hunger and rawness that comes from a band starting out. I mean, considering this is 1974, I mean, how many bands, you know, barring Sabbath and, you know, other quote-unquote proto-metal acts, I mean, Judas Priest hadn't even put an album out at this point.
Yeah.
And already Queen is doing shit that, you know, makes early Judas Priest sound like status quo, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that's not a dig at Priest. That's just a case of how early Queen were in the grand scheme of things. And they didn't even go all in on being a heavy metal band. They could just do it when they wanted to, you know?
Yeah. They were, it seems like from day one, they, you know, sure they were a rock band, but I think that they were more concerned with being a great band than a great metal or rock or whatever band. They were just like, why does it have to be one thing?
Exactly.
And I agree with that idea. Like, it doesn't have to be just one thing. If you're a really great band, you can do different kinds of shit, and the real ones will appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here on the wiki, there are 5 genres listed. I mean, it's art rock, hard rock, glam rock, heavy metal, progressive rock. I mean, we look at some bands and it just says thrash metal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Not
which for some bands that's great, but
yeah. But I mean, you know, at the end of the day, Queen are Queen, and they killed it. Absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
that's pretty much my take on Queen 2. It's badass shit, but they did 5 more that I liked the most.
Yeah. All right. So my number 6, this is probably going to be looked at as a hot take. I hate the term hot take because my takes are always just me being honest, and people are like, I'm not trying to play by anybody's rules. I'm literally just like, these are just how I feel about these albums. But this might be looked at as like, why is this even this low? But my number 6 is A Night at the Opera from 1975.
Nice.
Fourth album. This is, I guess, arguably their most popular album. And I didn't know this at the time that it came out. It was the most expensive album ever made when it came out.
Wow.
Because I think they took a little time in the studio, and I mean, if you listen to it, like for what they accomplished, I'm sure that there was a lot of time in the studio and a lot of equipment that had to be used for certain things, and I don't know. All I know is that this album, this was probably the first full Queen album I ever heard aside from Flash Gordon, and I think that like Death on Two Legs is a really good opener. And I kind of like that this album kind of goes all over the place. It's less proggy than they had been previously, but actually in certain ways seems more ambitious, even though it's less proggy. But you have songs like "You're My Best Friend," which like I love songs like that where they literally they're not trying to impress anybody. You know, it's like that's not only not metal, not really rock, not proggy. It's just a cool little pop ditty that's just really nice. But I do think that there's like a inconsistency because there's some really fucking strong songs, and then there's some songs where I'm just like, I don't know. Like, here's a thing that bugs me about Queen and some other bands of that era, but they're all bands from England, I'm pretty sure. I don't think this is an American thing, where they all decide they need to have a song where it's like, here's an olden time song where we sound olden. And I'm just like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to, because it always sounds like filler. When the Beatles did it, it sounded like filler. When Queen does it, it sounds like filler. And I honestly think that it's just like in the studio, they could throw that together real quick because it's not hard to write a song like that. And then it's just, then all of a sudden there's a variety on the album, but that just always takes me out. I'm just like, we don't need it. That music is in the past for a reason. Because it's like, it's not good. Like that kind of music. I mean, this is my opinion, obviously. There may be people that are like, that's my favorite stuff. Then great. You know, it's like, go have some saltwater taffy and enjoy yourself. But I'm just like, yeah, I just don't, because you have those little tracks, and then you have like Sweet Lady, amazing song. The Prophet song, pretty much a metal song. And plus, like I remember when I was young, the first time I heard the middle of that song, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody is known for like, you know, the big grand, you know, midsection, but that one once it gets into the now I know, and it just goes all fucking weird with the vocals.
Yeah,
that's always a song I'm just like, holy fuck, like what were they on? Like that's you gotta have a lot of confidence to be like, look, just trust us. Here's where this song's gonna go. If you tried to explain that part of a song to somebody, people would be like, what? Why? But in the grand scheme of the Prophet song, it's fucking great, and the whole song is really great. But and then of course, I'm saying all these fucking words about all this shit on this album. Bohemian Rhapsody's on this album too.
Yeah. And do you want to know something awesome?
Yeah.
Like I love the fact that, you know, barring the "God Save the Queen" outro afterwards, this is such a mic drop of an album. Like I know
in a lot of ways, yeah.
There are, you know, that what's this, the fourth or fifth album they did?
Fourth album,
right? So, you know, they've put out you know, 3 albums so far, and then they get this. They've got a huge budget, and here's the thing, right? Can you imagine not only writing a song as good as Bohemian Rhapsody, writing a whole album that's this good, you know, with a throwaway here or there, as you mentioned. However, you play an entire album, leave Bohemian Rhapsody to the end, and then finish with the national anthem. I mean, holy fuck! We know how good we are that we can just do this. And I've said this, you know, I never feel more patriotic than when that ending, you know, "God Save the Queen" moment, because, you know, I wouldn't label myself as a fucking, you know, royal British patriot type, you know. However, there is that moment at the end of the album where it's like, if someone turned around and said, "What makes you proud to be British?" I'd go, "Fucking Queen."
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, being from the same chunk of dirt on this ball
Yeah.
that these guys came from, and it's that thing of, you know, they just knew they were cooking, and they put both this, it just oozes.
But like,
We're great.
you bring up a good point there, because like, if I'm not mistaken, you can fit England into Texas, right? Like that's
5 times,
so,
or Britain as a whole. Yeah.
so that is the equivalent. So think of just off the top of your head, off the top of my head. So England, Beatles,
Yep.
Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Queen, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. Let's just stop there.
Black Sabbath. Did you
I
mention
said
Black
I said Sabbath.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's like the equivalent of me. Oh, all those bands are from Texas.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like holy
Nuts.
fuck, dude. Like, you know, like I know that, like, you know, the way that you guys, you know, you live in England, and so you think like, well, I'm in Cornwall. Those, you know, London is just like a completely different, you know, world. You know, sometimes, but
Yeah.
it relatively so close. And London, Birmingham, Manchester, all of those, you know, Liverpool, they're all relatively close, and all this amazing fucking music. I didn't even get into like shit from like the 80s. You know, you don't like, I didn't even mention, you know, the Smiths or Radiohead or New Order or any of that shit. Still all fucking England. And so it's like, that is proof right there to be proud of being British, is that that small area of the world birthed some of the most important music ever made by some of the biggest bands. And I'm just talking rock bands. I didn't,
Yeah.
you know, once again, I could have thrown out Elton John. You know, it's like you go into all these different areas. And so that blows my mind that, like, you know, so much of that music from that small amount of space. And, you know, and I you know, I find it hard pressed to name you 10 bands that I think are that good from Texas. You know, it's like, just from Texas. I'm just like, no, there's no band from Texas that I would put anywhere near Queen, and not to mention all the other bands I named.
we are kind of iconic, aren't we?
I know.
Well, here's the thing. I've just looked it up. You mentioned that, you know, we can fit Britain into Texas at least, or the UK into Texas at least 5 times.
Uh-huh.
Here's how long it takes to drive from the bottom of the country to the top of Scotland, and that is from Land's End, which is in Cornwall, to John O'Groats in Scotland would take less than 15 hours, give or take.
Wow.
Like, literally, if you were driving and encountered no traffic,
Yeah.
or, you know, if you had a perfect drive from start to finish, it would take you could probably drive there and back in less than 48 hours. Well, in less than 30 hours.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when you think, just really scale things up.
Yeah.
How much cool shit has come from such a small part of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, a lot of fucked shit has been because of us too. But
well, that's true. But if you get nitpicky about it, then I got to get really nitpicky about it, because it's like there's shit on a national scale, and then there's horrible shit at a state level that I'm having to deal with. So it's like, so that's, you know, but yeah, but like, you know, and even then, like, you know, I
mate, have you seen the traffic in Falmouth?
Yeah. But like, you know, you think of like, I don't even know where I was going with this. Okay. I don't know. Oh,
Sorry,
I was thinking about, like, the music that I love from America, which is, there's a lot of it. Even most of that music, you could point to British music. Now I understand if you start talking about Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, then all of a sudden you point back to America for certain things. But like, they're taking from a completely different genre at that point. Like that's taking, blues or jazz or whatever and translating it into this different thing. Our stuff that we were influenced by is still rock music and metal music. So it's like you don't have thrash metal if you don't have Motorhead, and Motorhead's British once again. So it's like it's just insane to think about it. So like, if anybody takes anything from these episodes, it's that there needs to be way more respect for England because so much of the shit that's amazing has something to do with England. So,
dude, Def Leppard.
Yeah, see with them like every time you turn around, there's another band that you're just like, oh shit, it's another one. There's another one there.
Oh yeah,
David Bowie.
Purple.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Jesus
White Snake.
Christ.
I mean, White Snake ended up.
Let's be David Coverdale.
Yeah.
Because wasn't the popular version of White Snake, weren't they a lot of Americans in that band?
Yeah. So like I think White Snake up until 1987 was
when he
British.
He wanted to put all the pretty people in the band.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you're David Coverdale and you're like, look, you guys need to look at least half as good as I do.
Yeah. Do you know what, and this is as a straight guy looking at Whitesnake in 1987. There's a bunch of good looking guys.
Yeah.
I would like to look like them.
Tawny Katane is the least attractive person in that music video. And I'm a straight guy. Maybe not that straight. Maybe my pendulum is a little bit over to one side, but I don't know. I wish it was more over because I would have more. The world would be more interesting if everyone was that attractive. But anyway, whatever. Okay, come on, Queen. What did you do your number 6? Oh no, I did Night at the Opera, which was my number 6. Yeah, so it's an amazing album, but yeah, it's has things about it that I don't 100% love, even though I really appreciate it overall, and I think it's a great achievement for a band at this point. But I honestly think that they did better albums right before this, but I also think a little bit after this, they did amazing albums as well. But I think Night at the Opera is very important because it is that point of like they were taking chances and the world went, cool, we're good with this. Let's have more of that. And that's got to be the best feeling in the world to like put all this fucking work into something that could easily just be a niche album that nerdy fuckers over the years get really into. But no, the world was just like, yep, we love that. So very important album for Queen, but not in my top 5 because my top 5 is fucking stacked, people. I'm just going to tell you right now. Look, Jesus Christ. All my top 5, I really don't have any complaints about at all. So let's get into it. Top 5.
Cool. My number 5 is Innuendo.
All right.
Innuendo for me has always been one of the top albums for me because I always found myself really drawn to the songs from this album that are on Greatest Hits 2.
Okay, yeah.
I of all of the greatest hits, I listened to 2 the most when I got my green iPod Nano, which was 8 gigabytes because I thought that was enough at the time.
Yeah. Hey, if it was enough to have all 3 Queen greatest hits and some Eminem, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It was pretty. I had a well curated selection there.
All right. Addendum to my previous statement: hip hop came from America, and usually when the UK jumps in on hip hop, I go, come on. There are some exceptions, but yeah.
Thank you for saying it. But yeah, so if I'm going straight in, Innuendo I believe to be of the caliber of Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm not even afraid to say it. That song
it's an epic fucking song.
So good. There's so many changes in it, and it's so epic. Like it's got it's got kind of like Desert Voyage boss fight vibes at times.
Yeah.
You know, and it's such a, it's a longer song. It's a dramatic song. You know, there's parts that are operatic. There's parts that are like full blown flamenco, dueling with swords moments. You know, it's just such an epic. And then immediately followed up with "I'm Going Slightly Mad." I mean, that, talk about a song with a cool vibe. I mean, like, that's another one that's got kind of a weird thing going on. I remember you talking about how unique Invisible Man is.
Yeah.
Like, I feel the same way about "I'm Going Slightly Mad." I feel like that's one that's got a weirdly unsettling but cool vibe going on. Headlong is a kick-ass rocker. I love that one. I Can't Live With You. I love how catchy that one is as well. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch of Eddie is totally on board.
Yeah.
Don't Try So Hard, Ride the Wild Wind, All God's People. You know, it kind of lulls in this midsection for me, but man, I tear up whenever These Are the Days of Our Lives comes on, knowing that that's like, wasn't that the last music video he filmed? And you can tell
I believe so, yeah.
He's ill in that. And
yeah.
You want to know one of the craziest things? I don't think there's a single other band on this planet that could put out Delilah and have it immediately followed by the Hitman.
Yeah.
I mean, you go from meow no, meow no, meow, like literally on the guitar. There's a call and response. I piss myself laughing every time that part comes on. And do you know what? So many people are like, Delilah, you know, I'm not going to begrudge Freddie for writing a love song to his cat, but that shit sucks. But it's like, I turn around and I go, I think it's fucking hilarious.
I also think it might have been strategically placed there.
Yeah, because immediately you get the Hitman.
You're not expecting that, the Hitman.
No. And honestly, at that point in their career, the Hitman may be the heaviest song they ever wrote.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, and you haven't brought this up yet, but I know you probably agree. The production is really helps. Like, it brings across the hugeness of the songs on this album.
It's got that thing of, it's a hard rock album from the early 90s. I mean, it's recorded between March 1989 and November 1990, which is just the chef's kiss sweet spot when it comes to production for hard rock, in my opinion. I think that there is a point at which, in this time period, late 80s, early 90s, we perfected weightiness and spaciousness, and they coexisted, you know.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like there's a hell of a lot of weight, but not a lot of space, and you get fatigued easily.
Do you know what, like, I kind of made the realization, and I'm sure this is probably not anything unique. I'm sure other people have made this connection, but when I hear these particular albums, and then I hear albums from the 90s, I always go, I think they finally went back and said, you know what? Mob Rules sounds fucking great. It's like, because an album like Mob Rules, it's that sort of thing where it's big, it's spacious, but there's a bottom into it. It's heavy, it's a thumper. And I think albums like that, because there were other albums from that era that sounded that good too. And I think once you got out of the 80s, people were like, why didn't we keep doing that? Because that sounds fucking fantastic. And so it was like modern production technology and that idea, all of a sudden came together. So
there's this like timeline of the 80s snare that I'm somewhat of like a savant in. Like, I can hear the snare drum on an 80s rock song and pretty much, within a 2-year span, get it pretty much dead on. There's a puffiness to early 80s snare drums for the most part that gradually in the mid 80s get puffy, and then they turn to booms.
Yeah.
And then when the boom thing starts getting phased out, you've got a crack, but in a huge room. Yeah. So you go from like...
Yeah.
Yeah, and we really peaked
somebody
around
just edit that and make a remix.
Yeah, yeah. We really peaked around the point where we could have a.
Funny enough, I'll even say back in the 70s, there were those certain albums where the snare just sounded like a box. And
Yeah.
like sometimes for certain albums, I'm like, I kind of like that sound for some reason.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Fleetwood Mac from the 70s that has that kind of like boxy snare drum.
yeah, there's some early Bowie stuff too where the snare sounds
Yeah.
that way. And I'm always like, it doesn't sound great, but for some reason, just in the context of the music and the time, I'm like,
Yeah.
sounds cool.
I've found it like a snare sound can make or break an atmosphere.
Oh,
You know?
yeah, absolutely.
Like no other instrument in the band, the snare drum is the leading force in how big is the venue we're in.
Yeah.
And for me, I like a nice mixture of that. I want to hear the definition of the drum, but I want to know it's in a big area.
Yeah. Also, yeah, the definition of the drum there, because there's a lot of production, especially more modern, where the kick and the snare sound way too close to each other. I'm just
Yeah.
like, why would you do that? That's a really weird choice to make, but okay.
You know something as well is like, even though I love 80s production, there are some like so 80s productions that if someone turned around and said, that sounds nothing like the drum kit it was recorded with, it was like, okay, yeah, I get that, and I get why you don't like that, but at the same time, it exists in this pocket of time now that has an atmosphere.
Yeah.
And if you're going for a certain atmosphere, you know, I mean, I wouldn't want Def Leppard to sound like Alanis Morissette because
Yeah.
it wouldn't serve that music.
But also,
you know?
also, if you think about it, that very reason is why live albums were cool, because you would have more of a stripped down. Let's make the drum kit sound like the drum kit, because you have the
Yeah.
album version, which is the studio production of it. If you want to
Yeah.
hear the kit sounding the way that it sounds, go see them live or buy the live album. So I like the idea of an album presentation. Doesn't have to sound natural, just has to sound good in whatever way you do it. But, then put out a live album where you strip things down, and then you're just like, hey, now you're hearing these songs in their most basic form of this actual band playing them. That's why live albums were great and why you don't see them a lot anymore. And when you do, it just sounds like a studio album with a crowd screaming over it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, sorry. Coming back around to Hitman.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's followed by Bayou, which is this cool, like, atmospheric. We're still kind of in the 80s with synth, with guitar interludes and stuff. It's really cool. And finally, this is another mic drop. The show must go on.
Yeah.
And knowing that is the last track
Yeah.
on the last album where Freddie was alive, but he was still churning out music.
Yeah.
That dude was a serial badass to the end.
Yeah.
He couldn't not do it. And it's amazing. It's an amazing song. Show must go on. I've used to hype myself up several times. If ever I've needed to, get over a rough patch, that song has been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And it's epic. And there are several songs on this album that just blow me the fuck away. And, it's one of those things where it's like, I get that the weaker tracks kind of drag it down a little bit. Because if every song on this album was an Innuendo or a Days of Our Lives or a Hitman, this would be my number one. But if I'm looking at it as a whole album package, I think 5 is the ideal spot for this one.
Cool.
And also, one last thing. To be in such a state and put out an album with performances still this good,
Yeah.
credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, now that I'm done filleting innuendo. I'm going to give the. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give you fellatio. I'm digging myself a hole here. Get me out.
Okay, but I don't want anything to do with your hole.
Which one?
Number 5. My number 5 is Queen 2 from 1974. It's a heavy motherfucker. It's big. It's still got a lot of progginess. Loud ass fucking guitars. We already talked about Father to Son. It's a heavy motherfucker. Ogre Battle is amazing. I don't love every song on this album, but even the songs that I'm not as excited about, the overall vibe of this album is very cool, and it's got that. I mean, we talk about second albums from bands all the time, and sometimes that second album is where like everything really kicks in, and and honestly, like the weird thing about the first couple Queen albums, including Queen 2, as much as I love Queen 2, sometimes I have to be in the mood for some of the songs because, they were known for this kind of thing, but sometimes the theater aspect of some of the songs where there's like all the voices, they get kind of annoying if I'm not in the mood, where it's like, here's what he said, this is what he said, he said this, he said that. Yeah. It's like once they get that shit going on, I'm just like, sometimes I go, I can't do this right now. I love this. This is great. I'm going to have to come back later when I'm not in a bad mood.
Yeah.
But when I'm in a good mood, I listen to that shit and I go, I think about them having these ideas and then being in a studio and explaining them to the producer and just, being like, just trust us. We're going to do these 20 vocal parts, and then it's all going to come together. It'll make sense. Trust me. And then and Brian's got to turn his distortion up louder than it needs to be. But trust us, this is how it needs to be. So that's why, I think Queen is like when it comes to, them as proggy, I feel like it's like the best one. And it's a very strong album, and I very much enjoy it. And I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I mean, it's like I said, my top 5 I feel is very strong. So number 5 is Queen 2.
Sweet. It brings me to my number 4. Mm-hmm. That's how numbers work. So
on this show, could we go backwards?
Yes, that is how things are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that be how it be.
Every time we do an episode, we get 2 hours younger because that's how it works. That's why we look so good.
I wasn't aware of that. Okay, so my number 4 is album number 3, Sheer Heart Attack.
Hey, that's also my number 4. So we will camp out on Sheer Heart Attack.
Funnily enough, not the album that has the song Sheer Heart Attack on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's weird.
Yeah,
which is a great song, but just not on this album.
That would kind of be like, Black Sabbath by Iron Maiden from the album Defenders of the Faith. Brighton Rock, it's Killer Queen. What? That's a 1-2 punch already.
Yeah,
the whole thing rocks. But like, the thing I always think about is how Queen may have unknowingly written the first thrash metal song and not even known it.
The Stone Cold Crazy.
Stone Cold Crazy.
Yeah,
I mean that for its time, that's crazy.
For 74. Yeah,
that's nuts. I mean, when did? Because the 2 songs that I always get heard brought up is like the first, idea of a thrash metal song being a thing. It's usually either Symptom of the Universe, or
Symptom of the Universe is.
Oh, that's 75.
Yeah, because that's on the 5th album or whatever. Or
Sabotage.
For 6th album, Sabotage. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Stone Cold Crazy, I mean, if not first thrash metal song, at least first speed metal, right? Like, because I know we tend to bring up metal a lot, even when we're talking about Queen, because like primarily a lot of the stuff we talk about would fit under the metal genre.
Well, plus
But
they clearly influenced those bands too. So
some are saying "Hard Lovin' Man" by Deep Purple predates it by 4 years.
okay,
So I'll have to check out "Hard Lovin' Man" again because I haven't heard that in so long. But yeah. Either way, this is killer stuff. I love Sheer Heart Attack, and it marks a transition point as well because they're not as proggy, but they've still got the oomph, and it's just a refinement of what they were doing. They've become slightly more accessible while retaining that hard edge and adventurousness.
Yeah.
So I mean, over to you.
Yeah, it's really strong, but yeah, it is. It's like they kind of honed in. They kept some proggy elements, but they almost kind of used that to kind of, for lack of a better term, build their portfolio of styles that they could do, which in itself is proggy. But Now I'm Here is on this album, which is great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great songs on this album. I think, my top 4 albums, especially like Queen 2's, obviously fucking great, but my top 4, there's like as a whole package, it's just really solid. And it's one of those things where like, I look at it and I go, that's a fucking album. Because it's just like, I don't know. Because they are albums that don't just give you the same shit over and over again, but at the same time, there's top-notch songwriting and performances, and it's never not entertaining. And so it's like it's at a point where they were getting good at doing whatever style of song they wanted to do. But at the same time, I feel like, especially in case of Sheer Heart Attack and another couple albums that I will talk about, they seem to know how to put together an album that flowed in a way that kept you entertained, even if they were throwing you a curveball here and there or whatever. And that's really impressive to me, because I'll enjoy plenty of albums that sound the same way all the way through, or are so varied that it just sounds random and doesn't actually sound cohesive. It's just like, oh, they just did a bunch of random shit. But I think Queen was able to put these albums together where nothing feels out of place, everything feels like Queen, and you get everything that you need. Like they literally I don't leave one of these albums and go, oh man, I wish they had done something more like this or more like this. No, it's all there. All the Queen sounds you want are somewhere in this album, and they're all presented in a very amazing way. They were just, a band that was just like on fucking fire from, around 74. So this is also 74. So Sheer Heart Attack was the same year as Queen 2.
Yeah.
Same year as Queen 2. So they were on fire, and that's pretty impressive. But, and then not to mention Stone Cold Crazy, which is just, it is one of those songs that I still, even knowing, I know the song really well, but I'll hear it just on a Queen album and I'll go, God damn, they may not have been the first to do something like this, but I feel like in a way they were ahead of their time for how it's presented, all around. The Deep Purple may have been first, but I don't know. I just really enjoy all of the bits that you get on Sheer Heart Attack. Super solid, great fucking album, and that's my number 4 as well. So now we're on to number 3.
Sweet.
Which we will not match up on.
Well, my number 3 is jazz.
Okay.
Jazz is surprisingly nutso mode, catchy and heavy. Out of it's one of those albums that, you know, honestly, on any given day, this could be my number one. I mean, and the two big songs from this are Fat Bottom Girls. Well, no, actually, no. Bicycle Race, Fat Bottom Girls, Don't Stop Me Now. Don't Stop Me Now will probably be the biggest song from this album. But I mean, holy shit, coming out of the gate with Mustafa, you got Jealousy, If You Can't Beat 'Em, Let Me Entertain You, Dead on Time, it's In Only 7 Days, Dreamer's Ball, Fun It.
Yeah.
Leaving Home Ain't Easy, Don't Stop Me Now. And here's the thing as well. More of that jazz.
You can talk about the end of that song.
That song is so fucking killer. But
yes.
do you know my observation from that song? That song sounds like Bayou Country by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Okay.
Happening at the same time as Master of Puppets being played on a 45, but it's being played slowly.
Yeah.
So you've got that thing going on with that thing over here, and upon hearing that song, I mean, what a way to go out. And there's also that part where it incorporates the other parts of...
Which I always heard that as like, oh, just in case you forgot all the badass shit you just heard, here's a little recap of some of it. And I was like, that's fucking great. Like every time I hear it, and then it seamlessly goes right back into the song, and I'm just like, that's too good. That's too good.
You know, I'm kind of kicking myself putting this at 3, because when I think back now, I think that may actually be my favorite, but I'm sticking with the ranking.
Okay.
But just know, if I change my mind in the near future, Jazz is a contender for the top spot. I mean, this top 3, they could switch on any given day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's killer stuff. This is a band that are refined to a point where they can put out a perfect pop song, but they're still doing wild stuff. And I think this really is the last of the albums where they're kind of wild.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Hot Space was a massive stylistic change.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it very much goes in a pop direction. It doesn't go in an avant-garde zone.
Yeah.
And I think the game marks the end of, you know, funnily enough, it is slap bang 1980, and it's like, right, 80s Queen. There's stylistic remnants of the more refined stuff they did in the 70s, but there's little to be found of the really off-the-wall choices. But I think Jazz really is the culmination of everything they'd worked towards. And yeah, it's killer. It's awesome.
Sweet. So with my top 3, I had to I struggled with my top 3 because I love all 3 of these albums, and then I had to like take a step back and go, okay, so you love these particular albums. I had to like give and take what I love, what I love, but I also think is like arguably amazing.
Yeah.
And so I kind of came up with an order of my top 3 that I feel kind of happy with. But my number 3 is my favorite Queen album, but I couldn't put it at number 1. My number 3 is Flash Gordon from 1980.
You know, I love that it's here, because I put it low, but I still love it.
I understand your points that it's not, comparatively speaking, it's not that much of a Queen album, even though Queen are all on it. But this one is just like my favorite for sheer enjoyment and the fact that it is an album. It's one of my oldest favorite albums. This was one of my favorite albums when I was in preschool, and I just listened to it last weekend, and it still gave me chills and made me energized in every single fucking part of the album. Even the weird, like it's not necessarily a song. It's just some synthesizer tones that sound ominous for a little bit. Doesn't matter. It is just like, I love the movie Flash Gordon, but if you said, hey, if you could only do one of the two, either watch the movie or hear the soundtrack, I'd be like, get rid of the fucking movie. I'm going to just listen to the soundtrack for the rest of my life. Because I feel like I get the movie out of the soundtrack. And I wish more soundtracks did that, where they put dialogue from the movie, and it's almost like a movie experience in the album. Yeah. And nobody does that. Like, there are other soundtracks that have dialogue on them, but I can't think of another soundtrack that is an original soundtrack and isn't a compilation where a band made essentially music for a movie and it's this good. Like, they just knocked it out of the park. I mean, I know that like Flash Gordon was the big single off this album and I love it, but The Hero, which also includes a little bit of the Flash Gordon song in it, that altogether is just such a fucking amazing song. And yeah, so it's my favorite, but I'm looking at it as Queen. I'm like, okay, I put the other two that if Flash Gordon didn't exist, or if we weren't going to talk about it because it's a soundtrack, I'm like, okay, these other two easily would be higher. So, but I had to put I had to put it in the top 5 somewhere. Just because I love it so much, and they fucking nailed it. I really wish that was still a thing, but it has to be a thing like this, where it's a rock band heavily leaning into synthesizer music, but also still having a lot of electric guitar in it. And I just think that it's just such an amazing kind of one of a kind album, and I love it. So, I ended up putting it at number 3. But, my top 2 are fucking amazing. So I'm okay with it. so yeah.
I wonder how many, just looking back over the, what's it called? Just looking back over the track list, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
The list of tracks on an album, that's what that thing is. I wonder how many mega Queen fans have gotten married to the wedding march that Brian May plays.
The only problem with that is at the very end of it, it takes a dark turn.
Yeah.
You cut it off before we get to that part.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure Brian has an exclusive major key one. Or, I mean, unless you are an evil emperor trying to unwillingly wed someone.
Yeah.
At which point, fuck you.
or really, maybe it's like, the positive upbeat, major key wedding march, the wife, the wife to be walking down the aisle, and then all of a sudden she gets up there, and then there's the priest.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. Then you realize you're literally like in this ceremony of these people that claim to talk to God, and that's scary that people think that way. But that's another episode where we tear down religion. We don't need to do that. There's plenty of other people out there to do podcasts like that.
I was going to say, what is it on Wednesday, so and so of September 2025. Cranked and Ranked started World War III by ranking all the world's religions.
There's a lot of religions, and yeah.
Number 20, Scientology. I just got on a list, didn't I? Anyway,
and funny enough,
I was joking.
I think if we actually did that, I don't know everything about every religion. But I'm willing to bet that Christianity is going to be way at the bottom. It's going to be maybe the bare bottom of the entire list, like of how much shittiness has come out of this religion. Let's put that one at the bottom. Anyway,
Anyway, next week, Striper.
Yes. Let's not. I mean, I'm sure one day we'll get to Striper, and I'll have some words.
You know what? You know what I think's funny is
Striper?
that. Yeah. Well, I was gonna come at it from the angle of. I remember when I first got into hair metal, and I heard about a band called Wasp. And I saw a band. I thought Striper were Wasp because of the yellow and black stripes.
I don't think you're the only one. I feel like I was that way when I was younger too.
Yeah, I was like, oh right, that's Wasp. They're dressed as wasps.
Yeah, because they didn't want to call themselves bees because that's not a very good name.
What about Bumble in the Jungle?
Better, still not
That'd be
great
good.
though. Hold on, you know what? Now that I'm keep talking for a second because I'm trying to find something real quick.
Okay, I'm talking because Old Head is looking for something, and I don't know what it is, but I need to provide mouth sounds.
It's a comment on our last episode of fucking shit. Anyway, sorry. Now I can't find.
Tune in next time.
Oh, there we go. No, there we go. I hate the way these are. So I'm sorry. I just derailed the whole fucking thing. But it's just because I remembered that I wanted to. Okay, no, this is it. I wanted to read a comment from and give a shout out on our last episode because this comes from the username is MWCool87. And he wrote, I usually watch your show alone, but my wife is a huge fan of Queen, so we watched this together. I think you just might have another peanut butter platypus in your cranked and ranked army. And I really liked that comment because I love the idea of couples. Like, because we're a couple, not romantically, but I just like the idea of like a couple, like a date night. Like, what are we going to do? Let's watch the, young head and old head and young balls on Cranked and Ranked. And for some reason I like that because like not only what we talk about, it's a lot of our viewers, I say a lot, almost all of our viewers are dudes. And there are some females out there, and I'm sure there's of all the other angles of the genders as well. But something about a couple that getting into us and what we do, and they're sharing their time, watching us, and that just makes me. I don't know. It gives me the same kind of feeling that when we found out there were like doctors that watched us, and we're just like, wow, really? Now it's the same thing. I'm just like, wow, you like you guys had some quality couple time, and it was watching us. Like I love it. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. And if you're watching, hello, I have a get your hand off that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, actually, do you think we've ever been on in the background while someone's got it on?
Oh, man, I hope so. Because, I mean, like, but, like, it would have to be, because I don't know. I mean, your half of the screen is pretty attractive. Not mine, but maybe, like, somebody could get into that, and that could be like a, what do you call that? Like a sexual aid. Where
I'm going to chime in here. Hey, buddy, keep pumping.
It's like that scene in Singles where he's thinking about the basketball player or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah. Thanks for the cool comment, and I honestly I hope that your wife likes what we do. Because we don't. I'd like to say that, hey, we're going to do a lot of bands like Queen, but there aren't a lot of bands like Queen. I mean, there's Queen, and then there's
Spleen.
Yeah, other things. Spleen. Yes, they didn't do very well because of the name, but
dude. Real quick, I want to trauma dump for a moment. Do you remember when the fucking Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out? There was a huge trend on YouTube of people pretending to have never heard a Queen song ever.
Oh, I don't remember this.
Reacting to Queen for the first time, and they were all like, "Man, I don't know. I never heard of this band. Queen? Queen? I don't know. I've never heard of this band." and it's like, it's the start of Another One Bites the Dust.
Yeah.
I think I've heard this somewhere before, but I'm not. It's like everyone's heard Another One Bites the Dust. You are fooling fucking no one.
I don't know. For younger people, especially once you get into your generation, and even
It was older people.
Oh. Well, maybe they were Mormons.
Yeah, maybe.
Or some other, or what do you call the ones that don't like technology and stuff?
Luddites.
Luddites or Amish. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Maybe, and maybe they're just regular folk, and I don't know, because I see those too, where it's like guy reacts to Billie Jean by Michael Jackson for the first time, and I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
let's be for real here. But you never know.
Hearing "Don't Stop Believing." Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Top two.
Top two
Queen albums. I'm sorry. My brain I looked at my notes and my brain went, boop. You're doing a show, sir. You're doing a show. Get it together.
Okay. So my number two is News of the World.
All right, cool. Oh, now I don't remember. This is good because I don't remember what you didn't talk about, so I don't know what your number one is.
I'm afraid mine's not an exciting choice. It's a pretty standard.
Just stop selling yourself short. Let's talk about News of the World.
News of the World. I'm going to say this. We Will Rock You. We Are the Champions. Sheer heart attack.
Yeah, just starting off the album with "We Will Rock You" is a band with some balls.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that there's something so basic about that song. It's impossible to not know it.
Yes,
it's like People Are Born Now, and that's a preset. All you have to do is just stomp, stomp, clap. It's entire room of people know. It's a
standard.
Happening.
It's become a standard.
Yeah, it is a default setting.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, heads down, sirens. Sorry, and back to the show. Sorry, that sirens going past the house.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. But that's a.
I'm not ducking because I'm. Yeah. It's.
I thought it was gonna be a drive-by or something.
Oh yeah, no. That only happens on Tuesdays.
But that's We Will Rock You is a testament to like you can point out a song like Bohemian Rhapsody and be like, oh, Queen was just amazing, fucking genius band. Yeah. But the fact that they could strip the shit down. Because some bands are so up their own asses that doesn't ever happen. It's literally they're just swinging for the fences every time. But this was a different kind of swing for the fence, I guess. But just the fact that they could do a song where they're just you know what, we don't need to just dial it down for this one.
Yeah.
And all we need is these foot and hand claps and vocals for the first half of the song or whatever. But just the fact that they could do that and had the musical I don't know, ability and scope to say, we're going to make this song that's just this, and it's still a fucking banger. That's pretty amazing, because there's that's why we're getting into the conversation of there's no other bands like Queen. There's no other bands that did all of the shit that Queen did. So yeah.
It's crazy how you can come out with "We Will Rock You" and immediately 1-2 punch it with "We Are the Champions." Those are two of the biggest songs of all fucking time, and they're back to back.
And in theory, if you would explain those songs to me, I'd be like, those probably suck. Why would I want to hear those? But the execution of them, I'm just like, no denying that these are both bangers.
And I love how, you know how I mentioned earlier about moments on an album oozing confidence?
Yes.
Both of those songs are statements. Mm-hmm. We Will Rock You. We have now rocked you as we are the champions.
We have been victorious with rocking you.
You're on track 2, and you've already heard 2 of the greatest songs of all time recognized globally.
Yeah.
then you get Sheer Heart Attack, man, which, like, A, it's not even on the right album, it's showing up here, but it's killer.
Yeah.
All Dead, Spread Your Wings, Fight from the Inside, and that's side A.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get fucking Get Down, Make Love kicking off side 2, Sleeping on the Sidewalk, Who Needs You, It's Late, My Melancholy Blues. This is 39 minutes and 10 seconds of a band that is unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
It's what? Like, I couldn't believe it looking at the track listing that those 2 songs are back to back at the start of the album.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I know I've gone back to a primal state of that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, this album it simply rules. And from that, I'm gonna let you take over with your number 2 because we are fastly approaching number 1.
Yes. I was shocked to find out that I think in some cases this is an album that people don't like or is lower on a list, and I think that that's bizarre. My number 2 is Jazz from 1978.
Yes, ludicrous. Absolutely nuts that would be anywhere other than the top 3 at least.
Yeah. So their 7th album, and it is insane. The variety of songs on here. Mustafa is a great opener because I love the fact that it immediately gives you the feeling of, hey, you have no fucking idea where this album's going to go. And I love openers that are unexpected, but also very engaging and entertaining at the same time. And then just like, we have to have a discussion though about one particular thing. And maybe somebody out there might know the answer to this question, because I know that, like, you know, Freddie Mercury was sometimes singing other people's lyrics, or sometimes he was writing from a different perspective and not his own. So Fat Bottom Girls is a fucking great song. But whether
it's also based opinion,
whether it's the songwriter or the perspective of the person, every time I hear that song, I go, "What the fuck did the nanny do to him? What did the nanny do?" Because all he says is she was a naughty nanny, and she made a man out of him. And I'm just like, what? Your nanny? Meaning like you were a baby? I'm like, what did she do? What did Fanny do? What did big fat Fanny do? So that's always a question, because I'm just like, does that not bother anybody else? I'm just like, what happened to you? And I'm like, I also love Fat Bottom Girls, but I don't remember. I didn't have a nanny doing anything to me. I just have great taste. You know, it's like, that's all it is. But that always sticks out to me, that I just go, what happened? Anyway, and I always loved how there's Fat Bottom Girls followed by Bicycle Race, which is one of my favorite Queen songs, because it is just, what is this song?
Yeah.
And the answer to that question is, it's a fucking rad. And the fact that they reference the Fat Bottom Girls immediately after in the song Bicycle Race, and which is great, because in Fat Bottom Girls, when he says, "Get on your bikes and ride," I imagined that they were motorcycles, but apparently they were not. They were bicycles.
Yeah.
So I always just really enjoy the whole journey of those 2 songs. But like, the best thing about this album is that this is it's the ending of them kind of being, really unpredictable. But like, at this point, they were so successful. They didn't have to do this album, but this is the most like, we don't give a fuck album. Yeah. And they still delivered with so many bangers. And like, to me, this is like, it's not my number 1, because my number 1 I enjoy in such a big way that Jazz goes here, but it's very close 1 and 2 here for me. But like, this is to me, like, the when it comes to the Queen that the how out there Queen could get and how varied Queen could get, this is quintessential Queen for me. Some left field fun tracks, some rockers, a great variety, but it all sounds like Queen. And then, not to mention, you get like Dead on Time, which is a absolute fucking banger of a song. And then you have Fun It, which is another kind of oddity, but also really cool. And I haven't even talked about Don't Stop Me Now, which is just amazing. And funny enough, was not a big hit in America, I found out. And the way that I found that out is because first Queen album I ever owned was Flash Gordon. Second Queen album I ever owned was Queen's Greatest Hits, back when there was just one. There was just one Queen's Greatest Hits. And the CD version that I have of that album was apparently the UK version. And I ended up getting an old school vinyl version of the US of that. And the track listing is different. And I'm like, that's interesting. Why is it different? And it's because like songs like Don't Stop Me Now were not as popular in America as they were in England. And not only that, the American version has Under Pressure, and I don't think Under Pressure is on the British version. So it's like, it's very interesting. But anyway, I don't know, this is in my brain. And then of course we talked about it before, the ending of with More of That Jazz, which is a fucking great song, but just that, the audacity just to be like, here's a little recap. It's so good. And it really makes this album just like come back around. And it's like them telling you, you just had an amazing experience. How does it feel? And it feels good. So, Jazz is my number 2. But like I said, it is like my top 3, Flash Gordon, Jazz, and my number 1, those are really close for me in how I feel about them. So let's move on to your number 1 Queen album.
Okay, my number 1 Queen album is A Night at the Opera.
Yeah.
When I weighed everything up, I thought to myself, I honestly had such a hard time with ranking these albums that I resorted to mathematics. And here's the thing, right?
Oh, okay.
And I like I say, I don't want to be swayed by others' opinions and things like that. Mm-hmm. But when I stepped out of myself and I thought, I want to, because Queen covers such a broad range of things. Mm-hmm. I wanted to, look at things. So I looked at like 7 different rankings and divided each section of 5 albums, the bottom 5, the middle 5, and the top 5, by a red, yellow, green traffic light system, right? I went all in. I went crazy mode because I wanted to see every different perspective possible. And here's what I got. Before we get into anything else, Made in Heaven had largely reds. Innuendo was largely yellow. Miracle, A Kind of Magic, both largely in the red. Works was mostly yellow. Hot Space and Flash, they were mostly in the red. The Game had a bit of everything. Jazz had a bit of everything. News of the Day was largely green. A Day at the Races had a little bit of everything but was mostly green. Queen 1 and 2 were mostly yellow. Sheer Heart Attack was completely green. And A Night at the Opera was also completely green. And upon listening to Night at the Opera, that's probably like the most Rain Man thing I've ever done on this show.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when I looked at it compared to my own opinion of this album, I couldn't disagree with it at all. It's such a you can tell it was an expensive production.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different changes, there's so many adventurous things. I mean, the Prophet song alone, let alone the fact that this is the album that has fucking Bohemian Rhapsody on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got Love of My Life, You're My Best Friend, Death on Two Legs. There's so many great songs. but it's structured so brilliantly that even the silly moments, they're rendered a certain charm because it also exists on the album that has these opuses.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is one of those cases where I think the real heat happens in the back half of the album. There's a lot of albums, classic albums even, that are front loaded.
Yeah.
If you can have a timeless side B, that is the mark of excellence.
Yeah.
And to be able to have the Prophet song, Love of My Life, Good Company, Bohemian Rhapsody, and then close it out with the national anthem on Brian May's iconic guitar tone.
Yeah.
Simply put, it's fantastic. It is a band that has figured out exactly what they are and what they're good at, and that thing that they are is limitless. It's Queen.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound like Queen when they do it, but Queen can do what the fuck they like.
Yeah.
And we're very lucky, considering the short life of Freddie Mercury, that we got as much as we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a band that was on fire, especially at this time. Just, imagine writing one song that good and having this many songs that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Connecting with so many people, all around the world. I mean, hot damn, this is a band that just killed it.
Yeah.
And simply put, I'm going to hand things over to you unless you have anything to add.
No, I mean, except for I know a lot of people that's their number one, and I can't argue with that at all, because it's really good. And even though there are things about it I don't like as much, but the other night I listened to I heard Bohemian Rhapsody again, and I sometimes I will make a conscious effort to kind of try to remove myself from the fact that okay, you've heard this song a million times. And I started to try to listen to just the connect, how everything connects, whatever is connecting it. If it's a piano connecting two parts or a guitar solo connecting two parts. And a couple of the transitions from the guitar solo into the big, I see a little silhouette. The way the guitar solo goes over the key change and leads into that part is fucking genius. But the same thing with kind of coming out of it, there's another sort of I don't know, because I'm not, I don't have a PhD in music, but there's a way that it comes out of a part where it does it's so interesting how it kind of, I can only imagine, because I don't remember the first time I heard the song, but you don't know where the song is going, but it so gently leads you where these parts that might not sound right together by some other band are connected together by whatever thing it is. If it's Freddie, if it's a piano, if it's Brian, if it's the rhythm that brings you in, but just the way that they crafted songs like that have now become timeless hits, but are musically complicated in these little ways that you normally don't pay attention to because it's not the big thing that everybody remembers. But you listen to the transitions of the parts, and I'm just it's fucking amazing. That is amazing musicianship and songwriting right there. Just, because I don't know, for some reason that stuff is the stuff that really impresses me, where it's oh yeah, you have these two different parts. How are you going to connect them? Impress me. And sometimes it's done in such a way that I go, that's fucking genius.
Yeah.
And Queen does that a lot. Anyway, so that alone, it makes, Night at the Opera a classic. Even if the rest of the album, even if there's other songs on the album that I'm like, that I could give or take that song. But Bohemian Rhapsody is one of those that's a classic and is a classic for a reason. And I think I said it on the last episode. I do like that song and Queen stuff has transcended generations, and it's pretty great. But in my opinion, the best Queen album is News of the World from 1977. Nice. Their sixth album. Now, I think this one for somebody like me, and maybe even for you, it's kind of a given that this would be high up for us because it is kind of more of a rocker. Yeah. At times.
For sure.
But just that's not even taking into account that it starts off with "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champions," which is already an amazing beginning. But yeah, going into "Sheer Heart Attack," you already feel that there's a little bit more of an aggression here, even when it doesn't come across as aggressive. It's just there's a lot of energy and drive and purpose in what they're doing, and all of these songs are great. And I love the fact that when they lean into, oh yeah, we're a rock band, they still sound like no other band. Yeah. Like they still sound like Queen. And so they, like you said, they could have done a metal album and it still would have sounded like a Queen album because no other band sounds like Queen. And News of the World, I think, for me, if like, it's like the yin to the yang of jazz. Like sometimes I want jazz is the Queen that I want. News of the World is like more of the rocker, more to the point, but still has that Queen flavor to it. And Certified Banger, Get Down, Make Love. It is a banger. Not to mention It's Late. It's Late is such a fucking great song. But it's the same thing. The same thing I've said about like a lot of these is that these are albums that taking the ideas of the certain songs and leaving them to some other band, the album could feel disjointed or all over the place. But in the case of Queen, they're able to take these ideas and in this case take more of a rock, perspective on some of the things and still just make them these unique and utterly enjoyable songs that just sound like you can't even, you're like, well, where did this even come from? Like what part of your brains did all of this come from? And I think we nailed it earlier. I think it's, you could say what you want about the rhythm section because they're fucking amazing, but Brian May and Freddie Mercury together, I think, was the secret sauce. The rest of the guys were just insanely talented as well, but I think that they would have been an amazing rhythm section in any band. But and vocally speaking, when the other singers would sing, I like some of those songs, but it doesn't have the same impact for me. And sometimes it is cool for the variety of things I do enjoy. But News of the World to me is just when it comes to that, the rock side of Queen. It's like it's my go-to. But yeah, really like News of the World and jazz to me could be side A and side B of like this is how fucking great Queen is. So that's my number one. News of the World is my number one, and your number one was Night at the Opera. Both amazing albums. I mean, there's no wrong answer here. But yeah, so that is our ranking of Queen.
Hell yeah,
we did it, man. That was two episodes. This was a little bit longer too. That's what she said. And so yeah, our first two-parter in a long time. We don't do these very often, but as you could see, we had a lot to say about Queen,
absolutely,
and video games and other shit.
Movie Speed.
The movie Speed, yeah. Now I need to watch Speed so I can get up to speed with Speed.
Dude, there's a kick-ass Billy Idol song from that soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's literally called Speed. But
okay.
it goes over the credits. But it's a remnant of like this is an 80s movie soundtrack song happening in 1994. It's
Nice.
killer. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to find it. I'm sorry, dude, out there that's collecting Speed, but there's going to be one less that you're going to be able to get. I feel like I feel like he probably gave up on that because I feel like I heard about that a long time ago. So I'm like, how up to date is he with still trying to get all the Speeds? But
I'm gonna look it up. Man attempts to collect every existing VHS copy of Speed. The man who would own all the world's Speed. This is a lot of these.
That should be this right here. If we were massively popular, and we were a podcast that just brought in the money, we could literally just go to a movie company and be like, "Hey, we have an idea for a movie that we're going to be in, and this other guy's going to be in it too, and he's the evil bad guy who's trying to steal all the copies of Speed from the world. He even has men working for him that will infiltrate businesses and homes in order to extract every copy of Speed that exists on VHS. And there's only 2 men that have the balls to stop him. And they are Old Head and Young Balls in, I don't know what the name of the movie would be.
Cranked and Ranked hides Speed.
Yeah, high speed. Oh yeah, let's call it High Speed, and we'll make it into a pot movie as well. We'll be stoned like all the way through it. It's like a buddy stoner action adventure comedy. And
can you imagine us like, bro? There's a hitman behind you. Up. Thanks, dude. Anyway, Metallica's 7th album.
Yeah, that's what it'll start off with, us doing a podcast, and then like the bat phone rings or something. He's like, "Hello, what is this? Oh, what? There's a guy who's taking all the copies of Speed. Somebody's got to do something about this." And then we go to like the president, and he's like, "I have no time for this." Well, obviously we're going to have to go rogue because the government doesn't want to help us out. And you go to the king, and the king's like, "Get out of my face," because that's what the king sounds like.
This is where we get him to be in it, but we make him talk in like an Italian American. Get out of here!
Who gives a fuck about the movie Speed? I'm the king, damn it!
I'm the fucking king of England, you motherfucker!
But then we got to give the American president a British accent. He's like Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant plays the American president.
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, blimey, they're taking all the Speed. But I can't help you with this. I'm busy having a tea party." Okay. Anyway, in a perfect world, we would be not only would we be rich and famous, but we would have the money and the backing to be like, "Hey, we just got this movie idea. Make it happen," and it would be amazing. Anyway, if anybody knows any movie producers that have any money, there's an idea for you. And on top of all the other ideas we've had, I think that's a good place to end it, though. Thank you all very much for listening in the podcast side of things, for watching on the YouTube side of things, for our favorite couple. I hope you had a nice date night watching us. And then, and if anyone's out there doing it while you're watching us, hi. And I hope it went well. And I hope you didn't get any in your hair. So that's the end of this episode of Cranked and Ranked Queen. I hope you enjoyed it. Well, what are we doing next time for the peanut butter platypuses, the aluminium squirrels, the Belvedere ball sitters, and the Christmas dogs? What's next time?
We got some bangers lined up. Now these are subject to schedule change. But
what? Was that some English words coming out of your mouth? These are expected to change.
We have slashed and slished and sloshed.
This is why we need to wrap it up. We've talked too much.
we're podcasted out. We're slurring our words. Slashed and mashed. Blaze Bailey. Slurred and blurred.
Blaze
so we got
Bailey.
a slashed and mashed on Blaze Bailey era Maiden,
Nice.
followed by a long-awaited sequel to the San Andreas episode. We're doing the Vice City
hell yeah.
radio stations. Kiss live albums ranking
yeah.
coming soon. A big ranking we've got coming up is Suicidal Tendencies,
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
and
that'll be fun.
we've also got we got 2015 as a year idea,
Which is
going
which is the first
2010s.
2010s that we've done.
Yeah, because we've done Y2K,
Uh-huh.
but now we need to do something from the 2010s. And I think 2015 is a good middle point of
That's
that
going to be an
decade.
interesting one. Yeah.
Also, progging it up, we got Genesis,
Oh, yes.
followed by some hip hop with Wu-Tang Clan.
All right.
We got a hair metal episode with Firehouse.
Nice. This is a good variety. I like this.
Yeah. We got a potential for a slashed and mashed Tim Ripper Owens Priest, similar to the Blaze Bailey one.
Speaking of that, I have had multiple requests now at this point for Morbid Angel, and I know there's somewhere there on that list.
We haven't done an extreme metal band in a while, and they are on that list. Should we bring them forward? Say
We should, because there's an interest in that. I've received a couple comments asking for Morbid Angel, so I think.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to slot it between Vice City radio stations and Kiss live albums, because I feel like that's going to break things up with a nice extreme metal breath
I think
mint.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Extreme metal breath mint.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like 10 episodes I've revealed ideas on the horizon. They may not appear in order, but they are certainly in the queue. So
Yeah, I've started referring to that as the short list. We have the list, which is really long.
Yes.
And then
Massive.
the short list, which is the ones that we're like they're on the horizon.
Yes.
Because most of the time when somebody says, "Hey, you ever going to do this band?" My answer is always, "It's on the list," because there's a lot on the list.
Yeah.
Cool. So next time, Slashed and Mashed, Blaze Bailey, which is very exciting because I think that his couple albums he did are underappreciated, and he may have been kind of thrown in the deep end where he was kind of out of his depth in some of it, but I think for what he did, it's pretty impressive, and the fact that he took that on is, I already liked him from Wolfsbane. Is that the band he was in?
Yes.
But those two albums, I think, need more love, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll see you next time for some Slashed and Mashed Blaze Bailey Iron Maiden. And yes, if anyone's asking, yes, there will be a Tim Ripper Owens Judas Priest as well, somewhere down the line. So, yeah. All right. This has been a long one. That's what she said. So we're going to get the hell out of here. And thanks once again to everybody. We'll see you next time. And as usual, I'm going to throw it over to Eddie Sparxx to take us out.
Later, dude. Later, dude. Later, dude. Later, dude. Dun, dun, dun.